Hello, everyone. My guest today is Patrick Shaw. He's a lifelong entrepreneur who has successfully built multiple companies and salesforces, always with an interest in leveraging technology to improve the process. Energetic and inventive, Patrick is passionate about people's ability to completely change by changing the story they tell themselves. He originally created the ideas behind his current company, RapidFunnel, to help his own salesforce. They work so well that it spawned the idea for RapidFunnel, the name of the company today. Patrick, are you ready to take us to the top?
I am, Nathan, but my mic just changed, I think.
All right.
Can you hear me? Hold on one second.
You sound great on our end.
Okay, all right. We're good then.
Good. So tell us about the company. What does it do and how do you make money?
I was scratching my own itch, if you will. I had a large independent insurance group, and I was always looking for ways to get them more involved in telling the company story, sharing the story, making it easy, making it effective. And so we built a bunch of tools and, lots of iterations later. But ultimately, what we do is we gamify prospecting. So we create incentives around individuals of any company, whether it's a franchise, direct sales, businesses, around individuals telling that company story more easily.
Mm-hmm. And walk me through. So let's say I have a sales force of 5 people. I'm using you. What will they see on a daily basis? Is it an app they have installed, or how will they play the game?
Yeah, exactly. They have an app that they download. There are different, what we call group codes. So different divisions may have different resources in the app, and they may even have different contests and rewards built around that. But the idea is if a company could take 25% of their revenue, of their advertising budget, and they could redirect it into their own people, well, one is that's a win-win. That those dollars come back to the company, and who better to tell the story than zealot employees that believe in what the company already does. So they bump into somebody, and I say, "Hey, Nathan, listen, you got this car over here. You need your brakes done. I got an employee group code I could send to, or an employee coupon code I could send to you. It's actually my employee discount. If I send it over to you and you end up using it, you walk in, you get your discount, I get recognized by the company. It's a win-win."
That's interesting. So just to be clear, is this a way to basically turn every employee into a salesperson, or is it more specifically for the sales team?
No, it's probably the first, but obviously it's highly leveraged by sales teams.
I see. Okay. And what are people paying? What do they pay you on average per month for this?
We have a few different models. But also,
you should answer that, by the way. That might be a sales call,
right?
You got to get your reward.
It's ultimately it's going to range. We're dealing with a lot of big companies. So our largest is about 16,000 users. And they're paying a few dollars a user.
Yep.
Right. And if it's a small company of 10 employees and it's a business, they might pay around $300 a month.
Yep. Would you say like $300, $400 a month is a fair average? I know you have outliers, but
for a small company with 15 employees, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Very good. And when was launch year?
We were locked in with one company. So we started selling about 7 months ago, and we've been in existence almost 3 years.
Got it. That's good. So it sounds like you launched late 2017, but you had 2 years before that. Were you just doing like development or engineering? You had no product at that point. How were you supporting yourself?
Well, we had one company that was footing the bill. I was independent with this insurance group, so I used it myself. And then the company came to me and basically said, "Hey, we'd like to buy the intellectual rights." I said, "No, I'm not into that, but I'll consult you and you can build it." And I wanted them to succeed. I wanted them, because honestly, as an entrepreneur, I've always been an entrepreneur. This was a big project. And I thought, well, you got the money, you got the means, you do it. And they spent close to $1 million, and it was an utter disaster. And so then I went back to the drawing board, and I'm like, well, this is bigger than I thought. And we had one round of private equity. And so we spent the next year and a half in development.
You raised a big round of private equity, or the parent company I did. Personally, I did.
I had a friend in private equity, and I told him the story, and I was looking, because this was a new realm for me. So I was kind of looking for some advice and counsel, and I actually offered them 10% just to help me through the process. And they said, "Well, how about 20 and we'll fund you?"
How much did they give you?
So, $300,000.
Okay. And is it like debt, or is that just pure equity?
No, that was pure just equity. Okay. No payback, nothing else. And they've offered a lot more. Now we've had a lot more offers since then, but now we're self-funding and it's going great. We're dealing with large enterprise level companies.
So 300 is all you've taken in?
That's all we've taken, yeah.
That's great. And how many customers have you scaled to now today?
Individual users is about 50,000 downloads, and paying subscribers is 20-some thousand, something like that.
And those are seats. Across how many logos are those seats?
23 companies.
20. Oh, wow. So you're selling big plans. These are like bulk. This is an enterprise sale, bulk deal kind of thing.
Yeah, right now, I mean, I think our big play is the small business owner, but that, it takes us almost as much work to upload or onboard a small business owner as it does a company with 5,000 users.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And remind me, what did you say? I know you said each business might pay kind of $400 per month on average. What did you say?
That's a new space we're going into. The space we're in right now, they're going to spend, tens of thousands.
I see.
Yeah.
And what did you say when you said a few dollars per seat? I mean, we're talking like $2 or $20.
Well, we also have so we go to direct sales as an example, because I'd spent a lot of time in that space of the direct sales industry where I had independent distributors. Mine happened to be in the insurance space, but we can go to them and I can find a field leader. And we have a freemium model. We say just try it, and then the individual user pays $14.95 a month, $14.95 a month. They get all their resources, all their videos, audios, everything's trackable, all the way to full closed loop conversion, analytics on business analytics on everything. We can tell that individual user who their hottest prospect is.
Yeah,
I prospect you 6 months ago, and you're checking stuff out all of a sudden because you were the right person, but it was the wrong time. All of a sudden you start checking things out, and the system is telling me, hey, Nathan is checking stuff out. I call you up. I'm like, hey, Nathan. You're like, yeah, I just watched one of your videos. I'm no kidding.
Yeah.
Right?
That's great.
Yeah.
Moment marketing. It works. So give us a sense of how you're doing today. So last month, what was total revenue?
We're killing it right now. We just did our first kind of our coming out party at an event called ANMP. And, it's American Network Marketing Professionals Association. So we did this big event, and we had some icons in the industry. We've done 20 demos in the last 2.5 weeks, and we're closing probably 70% of those. I mean, there's just a lot of value to them, and there's nothing like it in the space. So that's where we're at. I mean, we're just growing fast.
That's great. Look, growth is a good thing. Can you give me a number? What'd you do the past month?
We're just shy of $1 million in annual revenue right now.
Okay, good. So you're doing about 80 grand a month currently.
Yep.
That's a great place to be 7 months in. That's really impressive.
Yeah. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. And but you know how it is. I mean, we've also, there's the 2 years before that, and there's a 1.5 years of development before that. So there's no overnight success stories, but we're excited to finally be selling. That's the fun part, right? Where you're finally like, okay, we've got 19 full-time developers. We're in 8 different countries.
What's the full team size?
The whole team is completely distributed.
How many though?
Pretty cool. 27 people.
All remote. That's great. Yeah, that's good. And then look, going back to your per seat price, if you got 50,000 or I think you said 50,000, 20,000 paying, right? It's about $4 a seat, right? To get to your 80,000.
Yeah. And a lot of those are bigger enterprise, right?
Yep. That's great. Tell me, a lot of times if this kind of price point churn is an issue, what's your churn today and what are you doing to mitigate it?
Not been our churn at all. I mean, we're not doing squat, and I can't wait until we do a ton more. Right. But I think we've been fortunate in that our users already have a reason of their own. They're trying to build their own businesses. They're trying to get their own company story told. And they're loading we have a full-blown, CRM. So we're not competing in that space, but we had to have a CRM. So they've got all their contacts. They're talking to people. They're using the app every day. So we haven't had a single month of negative. Now that's new customers coming in, and I don't know all the churn numbers. We're using ProfitWell and trying to get a better handle on some of that, but it just hasn't been an issue. And,
Well, let me ask, Patrick, let me ask a different question. What are you willing to pay to acquire one of these customers?
Maybe
think about the kickbacks you give people that sell for you.
Well, I mean, it's a SaaS model, so there's a ton of margin. We just haven't done any kind of pay click or anything. So, like, what would I spend? I can tell you, I would spend right now for a $14.95 a month user. I would spend $30 in my head.
Yep. Because you get a 2-month payback period there.
Yeah, we do different things. Like, we just did this event. We spent, 5 figures to be at that event. And, so we're willing to spend money, but honestly, we just haven't calculated a lot of that right now. We're focused on value. We're focused on product. And now we're finally focusing on sales.
That's good. It makes a lot of sense. Are you raising additional capital right now?
We don't want to raise it. Well, I'd like to see if we can in turn, we can fund internally, at least until we get to a place where it's on our terms and not theirs.
Are you profitable right now?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's great. That's good. Very good. Okay, let's wrap up here, Patrick, with the famous 5. Number 1, what's your favorite business book?
You
got a lot there, I see.
Dude, man, I mean, I don't know how to.
What's that one on your desk right now? Under your
4 disciplines of execution. I love traction. I think for other SaaS model businesses, this traction tool has been an absolute gem for us. They have a web-based platform.
What's the website?
I don't even know what their website is, but it's Traction. It's Gino Wickman, and this is the book. And
got it.
From a business perspective, that thing, it has been, and they have a SaaS model. A third party developed it that we do all of our L10, our executive L10 meetings and all our meetings in the company. And so it's incredible accountability and training and tracking and all that good stuff. So that's one of my favorites. And then 4 disciplines of execution really represents what RapidFunnel is all about. So I'd say those 2 books are meaningful in this conversation.
And number 2, name a CEO you're following or studying right now.
Lots of them. I do love Jeff Bezos just because, I was reading his annual stock reports or whatever you call them. And it's all value. It's just like creates so much overwhelming value that I think so many of those other things like churn tend to work themselves out. You want to get better at them, absolutely. But if you can just figure out how to create overwhelming value to the individual user, then the gates are open.
Number 3, what's your favorite online tool for building your business besides your own?
It's Traction.
Yeah. Okay, good. So there's a software.
Google. I mean, we live in Google Docs and all that.
Yeah. Number 4, how many hours of sleep are you getting every night?
8 at least.
And Patrick, what's your situation? Married, single, kiddos?
I got 3 kids, and they are all rocking. I've been married 20 some years, and
great. And how old are you?
I am 50 years old.
50, great. And last question: what do you wish your 20-year-old self knew?
Oh, to relax a little and maybe go and take 2 or 3 years before I jump into fire, and patience and focus will allow you to achieve all that you want without getting too worked up over it.
Guys, there you have it. Patience. He founded Rapid Fire back in 2017. Before that was kind of doing it inside of a much larger company. Had a private equity friend that invested in the company $300,000 for, call it 10, 20%. Today, they're serving over 20,000 individual seats across 23 logos, each seat about $4, so 80 grand per month in revenue today. It's too early to really look at churn and CAC numbers, but generally speaking, the numbers are working out. They've got a team of 27 people based totally remote all around the world, profitable, which I love. Again, helping you gamify the prospecting part of your business and your sales team, really turning your entire employee base into an incentivized sales team. Patrick, thank you so much for taking us to the top.
Nathan, I appreciate it. Enjoyed being with you. Love what you're doing with Latka. It's awesome, and continued success, my friend.